My girlfriend lied to me about her age and is actually 18. I'm shocked and I don't know if I can proceed with this relationship. Long story short, I was using Hinge and I sent her a comment since I saw from her profile that we had a lot in common. It said she was 21, goes to a nearby college, etc. She even confirmed that with me, telling me a birthday that would say that she's 21. We matched in the fall of 2020 and have been dating since November to now. Well, it wasn't until our most recent date where at this time I asked if she wanted to get drinks and she tells me that she can't. Obviously, drinking age is 21 and up, and she said she wanted to tell me for a while, but she was using the dating apps while in high school. So at 15, she put that her age was 18 and never deleted it. She said that she just forgot about it, and I know that people use dating apps when they're a year or two younger, but for months she kept it a secret. She was my first girlfriend and meant a lot to me. She gave me space because she said that she knows it's a lot to take in. The thing is, I don't know if I can move past this, and I feel weird dating someone way younger than me. She says she loves me and that we can make this work, but is that even possible? If I knew her true age at the time that I messaged her, even if we had all this in common or got along well, I still wouldn't have dated her. I'm 25 and I want to be able to have a future and significant other who I can share that life with, but she's not on the same level of finances and life that I am. And she probably won't be for a few years if I do stick it out. What should I do? In 2019, I got into a car accident and injured my left leg severely. My ex-girlfriend was the one driving and was the one responsible for the accident because she was fighting and yelling at me in the car over a minor issue. I advised her to either stop fighting or stop driving, but she was reckless and didn't care that she was risking not only my life, but hers as well. I suffered for months because of my leg. I had a severe infection resulting in amputation and had to use assisted tools to be able to move. My ex-girlfriend became distant and my parents were my main carers. Her treatment towards me took a 180 turn. Suddenly, I wasn't good enough for her anymore, and at some point, she started comparing me to other fully functional guys, claiming I wasn't the problem. It's her low self-esteem, and she was required to look for a partner with a better look, financial stability, and so on. She made my trauma all about her and how being with a guy with one leg affected her self-esteem. She broke things off with me, and our relationship was supposed to end that day, but I foolishly spent months and months begging and convincing her that we were meant to be together. I even promised her that I'd do all I can to be able to walk again, and reminded her of the plans we had together, and I hated myself for it. My self-esteem was almost non-existent. I was dealing with PTSD on top of that. I fucked up and resorted to medication to ease the pain. Therapy was on and off for me because I'd get extremely agitated at the mention of my ex-girlfriend. I was so stupid thinking she was my one and only, and it got worse when I became convinced that no one will accept me and my disability since it's the reason my relationship with my ex-girlfriend ended. My parents helped us so much. They and a few friends supported me to get through this after seeing my overall health decline. In the past 6 months, I was given the opportunity to be able to walk again after getting my prosthetic leg. It was long overdue, but money was the main problem. I'm a lot better now. My health is getting better, my mental health improved, and gained more self-confidence. My ex-girlfriend reached out to one of my friends wanting to talk to me about getting the prosthesis and bettering my health. My friend was like a messenger between us, but I kept her in the dark so that she knows nothing more than what my friend knows. I made it clear that I have no intentions to speak to her or discuss my health with her. My friend was respectful and stopped speaking to her about me. She visited my mom last week and left her number with her expecting me to call. My mom told me that my ex was out of town and was low contact with everyone and couldn't check in on me despite wanting to. She said I've never left her mind and that she was feeling happy and excited for my experience with my new prosthesis. Right now, she's waiting for me to call so we can get together and talk, but I didn't feel comfortable with the idea. I gotta say, I felt nostalgic and wanted to call her number a few times, but part of me prevented me from doing so. It's been a week and I didn't call her. I'm not sure if I still have feelings for her. My family said that I should talk to her. After all, we've known each other for 7 years. It's clear that she wants to connect, but I just don't think this is what I want. How should I deal with this pressure?
Am I the asshole for telling a man that I didn't consent to seeing his nips? I'm 26 female and a new mom, so I'm pretty exhausted all the time. I get barely any sleep, and honestly my body is just so tired. A couple days ago, one of my friends, 26 female, called me and my baby to go out, so I thought it'd be nice to take a nice day trip since I haven't done it in so long. She also invited her boyfriend and one of his friends. We spent the day downtown and ate lunch in a nice restaurant. It was fun until my baby got fussy, so I decided to feed her. We were at a park area, so I sat down on a faraway bench and started feeding. I had everyone's bags. Her friend's boyfriend came to grab something, and when he saw me breastfeeding, he got so pissed. He demanded I stop feeding because he didn't consent to seeing my nips. I apologized, but he kept insulting me and getting louder. I ended up going back home and left. My friend threw a get-together, and he was there. When he saw me, he rolled his eyes and said, "Oh, not you again." The party was fun, but he was rude to me the whole time. There was an arm wrestling match, and he lost, and before the next one, he ripped his shirt off. I was grossed out, and he saw my face and asked what crawled up your ass. I got mad and responded, "Please put your shirt back on. I didn't consent to seeing your nips." He said it doesn't work that way because I'm a guy. We argued, and he called me a B-word, crazy feminist, and an uptight asshole.
Am I wrong for telling my sister-in-law no one cares that she's pregnant? My cousin, 33 female, who I'll call Mary, lost her husband, 32 male, and 2 of her 3 children, 3 female and 9-month-old male, in a car accident last week. Her and her daughter, 5, are as you would expect, and it's just heartbreaking. Well, today was a funeral, and my brother's wife announced her pregnancy the second they arrived at our house this morning, and we were like, okay, congratulations, but please keep it on the down low for today. Well, when we arrived at the church, she kept making gagging sounds and rubbing her stomach, saying, I, as a mom, can't imagine what she's going through. They have no kids, so people would look at her and she'd tell them she was pregnant. Afterwards, at my aunt's house, my sister-in-law kept making everything about her. Like, someone was in the bathroom and my sister-in-law would loudly say, pregnant lady needs to pee. She literally told my cousin to give her her seat so the lady with the baby could rest her feet. I ignored her until she came to Mary, stuck out her flat belly and said, me and Isaac just found out I was pregnant, and honestly, we are beside ourselves. It could happen to us. Mary broke down crying. I snapped. Who says that to a woman who just literally lost 2 babies? I said loudly to my sister-in-law, no one gives an F you're pregnant. Look around. It's not just 1, but 2 babies' funerals, not to mention the love of Mary's life. Like, I knew you were an attention seeker, but for fuck's sake, you took the test 4 days ago. Just leave. She did leave in tears, and my brother called me a fat, bitter bitch. I've gotten phone calls from my brother and my sister-in-law's family calling me the world of names because I made a pregnant woman cry. Mary and my aunt thanked me, but if I'm being honest, I feel bad about causing a scene. So please put me in my place if I'm wrong. Her husband, your brother should have pulled her aside and be like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? Shut the fuck up. But if he don't do it, you can do it. So, little update. I found out this morning that my brother and my sister-in-law harassed my cousin with phone calls for her to talk to me about yesterday. My aunt gave both of them an earful and then made my cousin turn off her phone. My brother and my sister-in-law were at my parents' house trying to get their side in when I arrived. They both came at me screaming and yelling about my sister-in-law's feelings, and she could miscarry from the stress I caused her. Sister-in-law said if I didn't lose my attitude and apologize, I'd never be in their child's life. I told her I didn't care, and if she was going to use the kid as a weapon, I didn't want to be in their life anyway. Things got heated, and my father ended up kicking out my brother and my sister-in-law. So yeah, all this drama at a time, we should be there for one another.
Am I the asshole for upsetting my pregnant wife and causing her to cry? My wife is 2 months pregnant and yesterday was my birthday. When I went into the kitchen, my wife told me she was going to work and wouldn't be home until late. She didn't even acknowledge my birthday. I asked her if she made any breakfast because she usually cooks for me on my birthday, and she told me to manage with cereal. I thought maybe she wanted to surprise me or something and just keep quiet. I cooked lunch for both of us and drove to my wife's office to spend time with her. I sat in the park waiting for her to come out for lunch. One of her colleagues saw me waiting and informed her. She came down and told me to go home and not embarrass her in front of her colleagues. I asked her to eat the food I cooked, but she threw it in the trash. I handed her the lunch and asked her to at least have it instead of the cafeteria food. She took it and threw it into the trash. I was hurt and embarrassed, so I immediately left for home. I was upset by then and no longer wanted to spend any time with her. I went to a movie, ate my favorite dinner, and then went to the beach for the rest of the evening. When I got home, my wife surprised me with a cake and a party. My in-laws and parents were there. I ignored my wife and then went back into the room. My mom got mad at me because my wife was crying. I then narrated everything that happened that day to everyone present. My mom's the only one on her side. My wife said her colleagues were teasing her, calling me a pen-necked husband.
Story time on how I lied to my boyfriend about being the father of my child. Okay, so boom, let's get right into it. So I have a boyfriend who's the love of my life, and I'm literally obsessed with him. I want to be with him forever. We've been together for 2 years, but unfortunately, my boyfriend ended up breaking my trust. You see, my boyfriend cheated on me with my best friend, and I found out that they've been sleeping with each other for the past year. Once I found out, my boyfriend begged and begged and begged for me to stay, and he cut all ties with my friend, telling me he doesn't want to lose me. I was so hurt, but because I loved him so much, I forgave him. But my forgiveness came with a price. I ended up having a one-night stand with his best friend. I wanted revenge, and I was being spiteful and just doing the whole tit-for-tat thing. But little did I know what was to come. Okay, so boom, like I said, after I found out that my boyfriend cheated on me with my best friend for over a year, I ended up having a one-night stand with his best friend because I wanted revenge. I was being spiteful and doing tit-for-tat. I felt horrible about it, and me and his best friend decided not to tell anyone. Well, I got pregnant, and without him knowing, I had a DNA test done on my boyfriend. He is not the father. And the only other person I slept with was his best friend. I really feel horrible, but 7 years later, my now husband still thinks my 7-year-old son is his. Am I the asshole for not telling him even though he cheated on me first?
So are story time about my unhealthy obsession with my ex-boyfriend. So a little background information, I was 18 and in 12th grade, and him and I have been dating for about 4 years, and it was around Thanksgiving, so it was pretty much college decision time. I got accepted into UCLA, and I was really happy because it was super close to home, and my boyfriend, who we're gonna call Devin, got accepted there also. So I was super excited that we did not have to do the long distance thing, until a week later he calls me, and apparently he got some soccer scholarship, so now he's going to Berkeley. So I was like, okay, maybe we can make long distance work. Well, then he tells me that he doesn't want to make it work and he thinks that we should just break up. Well, a week after that, him and I were sleeping together again, so I thought that meant that we were back together. The one day I was leaving his house and I heard his mom talking about me, and she was like, oh, is she coming to the Christmas party? And I was super, super happy. Until Devin says, oh, we're not together anymore and I'm thinking of inviting a different girl. Well, a week later, the party rolls around and I decide that I'm going to show up anyways. So like I said, he thought that he was bringing some random girl to his Christmas party, and I decided that I was going to show up there anyways. So I'm sitting in the car outside of his house the day of the Christmas party, pretty much just giving myself a little pep talk. Eventually I go up, I knock on the door, his dad answers, gives me a big hug, and tells me that he's downstairs with all of his cousins playing the video game. So I go downstairs, and as soon as I get down the stairs, all of his cousins look at me, and they give me the look of like, oh shit, she is not supposed to be here right now. And then I see the bathroom door closed with the light on. So I walk over, open the door, and what do I see? A girl from our school giving my boyfriend head. Well, my ex-boyfriend, but still, he was my boyfriend. So I didn't even give her time to get up before I started wailing on her. Few punches and kicks later, my boyfriend starts screaming in pain. After that, I got kicked out of the house, and I had to pay some medical bills because she bit my boyfriend. And I'm still on probation for beating her ass.
I think there's something in my attic. Like, not a person, maybe a person, but like a ghost, a spirit. So basically last night I got home at like 9 p.m. and I was 5 minutes late, like 5 minutes late to my house past my curfew. And I didn't want to go in through the front door. I didn't want my dad to literally harass me for being 5 minutes late. So I'm like, okay, I'll go in through the garage. So the garage door is opening. I step into the garage and I sit in the garage for like 2 minutes, and I'm sitting there on my phone watching TikToks. As I'm watching these TikToks, I feel like I can hear something above me. And above my garage is an attic, but nobody's up there. Nothing's up there. Like maybe like 5 boxes full of just like old Monster High dolls. Like that's it. So I pause my TikTok, and sure enough, it sounds like there's a TV up there or like music playing up there. It just sounded like there was a lot of noise coming from like a TV or like a, what's it called? A radio. Like it sounded like something like that. I'm literally getting chills talking about this. Oh my God. So I'm like sitting there just listening to it, and I'm like, why do I hear that? So I put my phone down and I like look up, like out of a horror movie. I look up and I'm looking at the ceiling and everything just stops. The music or whatever I heard up there stops. And then I just hear a big bang, like a freaking, I'm like, I run inside fast as and I go upstairs, my dad's awake, and sure enough, he's like, Kayla, why are you late? And I literally ignore what he said, and I was like, Dad, is there anything in the garage? Do we have raccoons, mice? Is anybody living up there? And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about, Kayla. And I tell him everything that I just said, and he's like, I don't know what that could be. He didn't even care. I don't know what that was, but I heard it. I didn't hear things. I heard that. I'm just like so like weirded out. I personally don't think it's like a person living up there, because if somebody was living in my attic, I feel like they would have made themselves known by now. I think that's like something paranormal, because I'm telling you, I don't even think we have electricity in our attic, like, or no outlets to plug a TV or a radio in. So like, how is that possible? How is that possible? So yeah, and to make things worse, today, my dog would not leave my room. Like, to make this TikTok, I had to pick him up and drag him out of my room, but the entire day, he would not leave my room. Every time he would, like, try to go out in the hallway, he would, like, run back in my room like something hurt him, like he saw something, and he would just start whining. Like, I went into the kitchen to make some food, and I just hear my dog whining from my room. And I'm like, why aren't you coming out into the kitchen? Like, I'll give you some food. And he's sitting, like, at the edge of my room, like, right where the door is, and he will not step over the door. Like, he will not leave my room. So I tried to pick him up and drag him out of there, and he ran back and ran under my bed. Like, I'm scared. I'm scared.
This girl wants to know if she's in the wrong for ruining Thanksgiving. She starts by saying she met her boyfriend 3 years ago. Before she met him, her boyfriend was in a relationship with his high school sweetheart. Apparently, the boyfriend's mom loved his high school sweetheart and was heartbroken that him and her had broken up. The high school sweetheart had been considered a part of the family. For the first year, the boyfriend's mom would call the writer by the high school sweetheart's name. After the boyfriend corrected the mom would still call the writer by the wrong name, like Janet when her name is Jenny. Well, a few weeks before Thanksgiving, the boyfriend and the writer were invited to a barbecue cookout at the boyfriend's sister's house. While there, the boyfriend's mom loudly exclaimed, "Why don't we let Janet make the Thanksgiving turkey this year?" So as you know, the writer's real name is Jenny, and she was fed up with the mom always calling her the wrong name. So the writer said that's a great idea and agreed to let Janet bring the turkey. On Thanksgiving, the writer arrived at her boyfriend's family's house without a turkey. When asked where the turkey was, she said, "I thought Janet was bringing the turkey." She was then kicked out, and the boyfriend has not spoken to her since.
I have a best friend of 9 years, and we've run into a major problem just recently. First of all, she's very attractive but has terrible luck with men. Men treat her like shit, so she doesn't trust them. I've been in a serious relationship for almost a year, so my boyfriend has met all of my friends. From day one, my best friend took an instant liking to him. They're both hilarious, so they laugh like maniacs whenever they're around one another. They're extremely entertaining together because they feed off each other's personality and energy. Everyone loves it except for me. It's obvious she has feelings for him. I spoke to my best friend about this, and she admitted to having a crush on him. The problem is, she won't back off. My boyfriend says I have nothing to worry about. However, she went behind my back and bought him the new Xbox One for Christmas. She stole my idea. She knows I was going to buy him this for Christmas because I told her. She's given my boyfriend tons of hints, so he already knows what she got him. So now I'm gonna look like the asshole if I ask him to reject the gift. Plus, he's going all out for her Christmas gift as well since she spent so much on him. This is not okay with me. I've noticed that whenever we're together with my boyfriend, she always tries to make herself look better and subtly puts me down in tiny ways. I'm seriously tempted to end my friendship. My boyfriend says I'm overreacting. What should I do? I was a product of an affair between my mom and dad. My mom was already married and had a 1-year-old daughter. She wanted to abort me, but my dad begged her and paid her a hefty sum. She signed over all rights and I didn't see her for my 14 years of life. She recently contacted my dad saying she wanted to get to know me better, and he said it's entirely up to me. I was skeptical but decided to meet her. I've been talking to my mom's side for about 2 months when at a family gathering they all sat me down and said the reason they contacted me was because my half-sister was having kidney failure and was basically dying. At a loss for words, I got up and left. I told my dad and he said it's entirely up to me but I should get tested just to see before I make my decision. So I did. When my mom found out, she thought this was me agreeing and told everyone the good news. I did a lot of thinking and I decided I would not be donating my kidney. This family had done nothing for me. The only reason they tried to get in contact was for my kidney. So I don't want anything to do with them. I got loads of hateful calls and messages, but decided to stand by my decision. My stepsister called me and said I'm a douche for giving her false hope. People are saying I'm wrong because I can save a life. My stepsister did nothing wrong. But I feel so used. Am I the asshole for not giving my sister my kidney? Okay guys, I woke up to a DM about someone who's asking for help. So this is the story and I'm going to read it as if I'm her. She really needed advice and so she's going to be looking in the comments on what to do next. My friend is being abused. We met on social media and then we met in person and I saw the bruises all over her body. She also told me that in another friend group she's getting sexually abused and drug abuse. She made me promise to never go to the authorities because when she did last year, the bruises only got worse and nothing happened. A few days ago, the abuse got really bad and so she asked to come over to my house. My mom was suspicious and after she left, she made me tell her what was going on and so I had to tell her that her dad was abusing her. I begged her not to tell the police, but she did so anyway. The police have contacted my friend's dad, and she keeps calling me and asking me if I'm the one who told, and I have to lie to her. I will have to speak to the police soon as a witness. Should I talk about the sexual abuse and drug abuse with her friends when the police question me, or should I stay silent? Am I being a bad friend for going behind her back and going to authorities? I'm really sorry you're going through this, but I know my followers will give you the best advice they can, even in this kind of sticky situation. This is an ongoing mess that continues to haunt me. My sister is recently engaged to her boyfriend of many years. He proposed to her at one of our family barbecues, and I was really happy for them until I saw the ring. Sister had hinted that her and her boyfriend were discussing tying the knot, and we discussed rings at length. I went online and searched for the type of ring she said she was interested in, and happened across a very unique and pretty ring on Etsy, but it had a fake middle stone. As soon as I saw the ring, I recognized it. Everyone knows they're supposed to spend at least 3 to 4 months paying on an engagement ring. He has a good paying job and 4 months wages for him would be at least 8 to 10K at an estimate. I know for a fact that this ring was $450. I waited until the proposal was over and asked the couple for a quiet word, but that had the opposite effect as I was overheard by the entire family. I told my sister I had seen her ring online and it wasn't a real diamond or even expensive. I accused her boyfriend of trying to cheap out of one of the most important gifts of her entire life. She burst into tears and said she gave him a budget of $400. She didn't want a real diamond. She's lost every piece of jewelry she's owned and she didn't want to be devastated by losing this if she ever does. Thought I was doing my sisterly duty by pointing out the fake ring. Am I the asshole for telling my sister? I have a 16-year-old babysitter who watches my 4 and 8-year-old. She watches my kids from 9 to 7 from Monday through Saturday, so I asked if she liked anything stocked up in the pantry or the fridge. She mentioned that she really likes seltzer water and I bought them for the first month, but honestly I forgot after a while and never kept any in the fridge. A few days ago I bought hard seltzers for me and my husband and didn't think anything of it. While I'm at work, she messaged me to say if I can come home early because she's not feeling well. I asked her to try and hold out until the end of the day. Not too long after, she called me crying, saying that something was wrong and she had to go home. She was drunk, clearly. She had drank the hard seltzers that were in the fridge. I told her to leave and she walked home. She called me the next day crying that she didn't know that the hard seltzers had alcohol in them. Both her parents were alcoholics and she was diagnosed with PTSD regarding alcohol. She never planned on drinking in general. I told her not to come back as she put my children in danger. She says she really didn't know and she cares deeply about my children and would never ever drink or put them in danger. She really can't afford to lose this job. I told her to find a real job and that it wasn't my fault she got drunk. My husband says I'm being very rude and that she did try to reach out when she wasn't feeling well. And my kids are upset to see her go.
We vibe into a different height. Your hands touching my scars, body's shaking hard. I believe I can fly. Da-dee-da-da-da, with you by my side. I believe I can fly. Da-dee-da-da-da, you make me go so high. I believe I can fly. Believe. Da-dee-da-da-da, with you by my side. I believe I can fly. Believe. Da-dee-da-da-da, you make me go so high.
You know a burden ain't a bust. You are the only way to trust ya. Only fair it burns up in that rust. Lay down my soul. Lay down a holy banner flag. Hold down my soul. Help is surely on its way. Don't bask in the glory of mine. And I know they can't come take that heart away.
Burdens on the way, burdens left to repay. No, we can't do all of them at once. You're so good to me, let me be good to you. Step by step we build ourselves strong. All that you say really keeping up, that's how. Whenever they are passing with you, there can be a good timing after all the shit that we have been through. I was a mess at times, then took all parts and made them collide until the right ones fell. I'm not dangerous, but I can make you bleed. We met and that was fire. No, don't wanna lose it now. I just got one desire, me and you forever. I'll be yours. I'm being afraid. My lover, no drama. I'm not dangerous, but I can make you bleed. My lover.
Hi guys, thank you for watching. I love you guys so much. Please like and subscribe to see more great videos. See you again.